Yo, haha, Miltnificent.
What is good, YouTube? Your boy Miltnificent coming back with another shoe review, and actually kind of this is a slide from 3D ChangeLife. This is the 3D ChangeLife 3D printed slide, and I'm going to show you why there's so many different benefits to their materials and what they do. If you haven't seen already, towards the end of this video, I will put a link towards the actual shoe design that I did, kind of showing people why you don't underestimate certain companies, especially 3D ChangeLife, because of what they use into the materials, the testing, all that stuff taken consideration, how it could be a benefit to you, because you want to pay for the premium stuff, at least for your dollar. So just keep that in mind. But this is the 3D ChangeLife 3D printed shoe. Again, I'll leave that link towards the end of this video. But today we're going to talk about the slide. I'm going to show you guys momentarily kind of the comparison, because I know as soon as you hear a slide, you hear a Yeezy slide, and some people may think that it's the same thing, but it's actually not. So before we get into the slide, I want to let everybody know that when you do 3D printed shoes, there are different types of materials that you're actually paying for. So, you know, in this day and age where people are wearing slides and stuff like that, or shoes, whatever the case is, in terms of a 3D printed design, you want to take in consideration the material that they're using to produce the actual shoe or slide or whatever the shoe it is. And the reason why I say that is because you're thinking about longevity. How long will something like this last me over time, especially when it's, you know, EVA foam or polyurethane? How long will TPU last me? It's stuff like that you want to think about before you hit that purchase button, and you want more bang for your buck. So this is where 3D ChangeLife kind of changes the whole game. So the box, the presentation, you already know from the slide is actually from the shoe, it's actually pretty similar to the actual slide. So we're going to pull this bad boy out because I definitely want to take a look at this. I was already impressed by the shoe and didn't think that, you know, the slide would be too different from the shoe in terms of materials. The materials that I'm speaking of is, let me just pull this out and show you guys real quick. This is the presentation for the actual slide. It comes kind of like in a bag, and within that bag, you gotta have the packaging. Now the packaging is very crucial to this presentation. This is a indoor slide. Of course, you could probably take it outside, but you want to kind of outside, but you want to make sure this kind of lasts for a long time. Here we go right here. You can see right here, man, the presentation of this is nice. You take this out. I'm going to take the first slide out, the second slide out, and I can already feel it. So there are similarities in terms of a material build for the actual shoe and the actual slide. So this is 3D ChangeLife slide. Of course, it does have inserts in here for presentation purposes. We will be taking that out, but I do want to show you guys what photosensitive resin looks like. Now, photosensitive resin is something that when you look at the material from a base feature, you're going to notice that this is able to contort in different ways, right? So the Yeezy foam kind of has, or the Yeezy slide, I should say, has similarities in terms of materials, but this photosensitive resin, the fact that it's able to contort in different shapes, and I can do this effortlessly. Like, I'm not even putting any pressure on this right now. You can see right here, you don't see any strain in my fingers. This is not like a, ooh, gotcha type thing. This is basically showing the flexibility of this slide. A slide like this, especially when it's indoor, can last you a long duration of time. And this whole lattice design that they did is very intriguing to me, because when you look at it, and I'll show you kind of like a video of what I'm talking about, as soon as you put your foot in the footbed, it's going to feel weird at first because you're not used to putting on a traditional slide that actually moves with your foot. This is actually true to size, by the way, if you kind of have any questions. Of course, there is a sizing chart on the website for 3D ChangeLife. Should you have any questions or concerns about how you do this, and I think, if they're not mistaken, if you're like a wide foot, they kind of suggest that you go like a half size up. But anyway, getting back to the slide, this 3D printed slide is the first one on the Miltnificent channel, and I was intrigued by the lattice design. You kind of had this incorporated within the shoe, but to put this in the slide, and trust me, there's definitely a weight difference because this feels extremely light, even compared to the actual Adidas Yeezy slide, or should I say the Yeezy slide. I'm not going to compare the two just because this is EVA foam. Again, this is photosensitive resin. And the presentation, the balance, when I had a chance to put this on, it's the bounce back, the plushness. It's something that you don't think of when you put a 3D printed shoe on, especially because the design kind of flat at the bottom, but that lattice design allows it to kind of expand and contract kind of every step. So this is kind of mind-blowing for me because when I put this on for the first time, and I'm not going to lie to you, it felt kind of weird, but then you start to get used to it because when you're taking a step, you got to keep in mind, even in the footbed, it's plush. It's sturdy, but it's plush. And what's happening is that when you're taking each step, it's moving along with you. So it feels a little bit more comfortable, in my opinion, than an actual Yeezy slide. Again, I don't like to sit there and compare both, but it's different materials. It's just how it kind of conforms in it. That you want breathability. This is the perfect indoor shoe. Could you take it outdoors? Possibly, but this is traditionally made for an indoor shoe. But it's all about the aesthetic. So you want arch support. There's a little bit of arc. You see a video right here. There's arch support towards the inside. So again, each step you take, stride for stride, you're going to feel the momentum when you're walking through your house. I felt like this is kind of like, if you want to call it a recovery shoe, especially if you go to the gym or something like that and you're inside and you need your foot to just kind of calm down depending on the exercise you do. This is something that I would definitely highly recommend that you slide on, much like a recovery slide. Again, it's an indoor slide, but it's something of the material. So let me get back to the material. So material you're paying for, which I said was photosensitive resin. This can last you a longer duration than most EVA foam material. So it's basically, you're looking at maybe a decade before this can kind of actually wear and tear. A 3D printed slide on your foot that actually warrants the actual price. So you're getting longevity out of the slide, comfort out of the slide, and unbelievable breathability. And this is something that I definitely look forward to putting on, especially when it comes towards that summer, springtime of next year. 3D print, I want to say like the whole 3D ChangeLife, but this printed design, I would have never thought that you would come. Honestly, I know it's say lattice, but it's kind of like a honeycomb. If you kind of enhance it and see what they did in order to build and construct this. Definitely impressed. And I look forward to actually putting this on, again, a lot during the summertime. So comment below. Let me know what you think about 3D ChangeLife Slide. Just presenting this to you and kind of explaining what the benefits are for a 3D printed slide and how it can benefit more in terms of longevity and comfort. Definitely mind-blogging. You definitely want to take a look at this if you get a chance. But your boy Miltnificent, man, 3D ChangeLife, 3D print slide on the Miltnificent channel, the first of its kind, at least on this channel. So I'm definitely excited about this. Let's do that on feed. And you guys, stay blessed.